This is ABC7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilkes.
I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us. Our top story tonight, the violence in Charlottesville, Virginia.
The 20-year-old driver accused of plowing his car into a crowd, killing one person and injuring 19 others, appeared before a judge today. His bail denied. Meanwhile, the White House is facing criticism, with many saying the president did not go far enough in his initial response to the deadly incident. ABC's Elizabeth Hur is in Charlottesville with new details about the suspect's past.
20-year-old James Alex Fields Jr. appearing before a judge via video is ordered to remain in jail and his bond denied. Charged with the murder of Heather Heyer and a hit and run that injured more than a dozen others in Charlottesville, could now face additional federal charges.
Racism is evil.
President Donald Trump responding to critics who blasted him for not initially denouncing the white nationalist groups directly and forcefully, today announced a civil rights investigation is underway. ABC News learning the FBI is now reviewing the suspect's background to determine if the attack was a hate crime or domestic terrorism. His mother is in disbelief after learning of his involvement over the weekend.
I didn't know it was white supremacists. I thought it had something to do with Trump.
But others who knew Fields in the past say they are not surprised.
He was vocal about his ideas. He proclaimed himself as a Nazi and as a white supremacist. It wasn't a secret.
Meanwhile, in Charlottesville,
we're also starting to get back on our feet and look toward the future.
A promise from the mayor to move forward more united, while the mother of the 32-year-old paralegal killed in the crash vows to make sure her daughter did not die in vain.
I lost my child, and I'm heartbroken over that, and I would grieve in private, but she stood for something, and by golly, I'm going to advocate that let's make that a strong movement, as my child was a strong child.
And take a look there. Love always wins. That's the message from the community here. This as the suspect awaits his next court date, set for August 25th. Elizabeth Hur, ABC News, Charlottesville, Virginia.
And we will continue to monitor the situation in Charlottesville and how the president and people across the country are reacting to the violence. And remember, you can get the latest information on breaking news on the Suncoast by downloading our My Suncoast app. First Alert traffic updates, important news updates, and First Alert weather forecasts will all be delivered directly to your phone.
New details tonight on a former Manatee County Sheriff's deputy now facing a battery charge. 39-year-old Stephen Buckle was arrested by Venice police for an incident on August 7th. The 17-year-old victim told officers that Buckle approached her while she was alone on Venice Beach and that he kissed her and grabbed her repeatedly without her consent. According to the police report, Buckle also sent numerous text messages to the victim. Buckle has resigned from the Manatee County Sheriff's Office.
New developments tonight involving a hit-and-run crash that left a man seriously injured. Sarasota police charging Devin Watts of Sarasota with failing to stop at a crash involving seriously bodily injury. He was involved in a crash on April 11th at the intersection of North Pineapple Avenue and 1st Street. Police say Watts was driving a pickup truck and hit Ryan Ware of Sarasota. He then fled the scene. Ware was taken to Sarasota Memorial Hospital, where he is still recovering. Police say it received lots of tips in the weeks after this crash.
A $5 million investment and 1 million petition signatures. That's what one organization says it will take to end Florida's felon disenfranchisement law. Since 2000 in the state of Florida, any convicted felon is permanently stripped of his or her voting rights. The American Civil Liberties Union, or ACLU, is donating millions of dollars in activist resources to put an end to that. If the ACLU gets 1 million signatures on the petition, a voter restoration amendment will be added to the 2018 ballot. Then Florida voters will be able to decide whether felons will get their voting rights back.
It's been too long that we have kept them from actually participating. We tell everybody that it's okay. You serve your time and you'll be forgiven, and yet we're not going to allow you to be a full-fledged citizen of this state. Florida is only one of 3 states that forbid felons to actually vote, and we're saying that that's not right.
There are more than 1 million people in the state of Florida that this would impact. The petition can be found on the ACLU's website.
Governor Rick Scott wants to put a constitutional amendment on the ballot that would make it harder for lawmakers to raise taxes or fees. Scott, who is considering running for the U.S. Senate, wants the measure to go to before voters in 2018. If it is then passed by at least 60% of voters, state legislators could not pass any future taxes or fees without a supermajority vote. Scott has not yet outlined what would be covered by this proposal or how large a supermajority would be needed. Several other states, including California, have similar restrictions.
Now it's time to check on the first alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan and get an update on how we're starting the week. Bob.
Well, right now we're looking at limited shower activity as we take a look at the radar review over the last couple of hours. We see a few showers inland. There's some drier air in place now into the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. On top of that, high pressure has been bounced down a little bit, and that's giving us that west to southwesterly wind component throughout much of the day. This always favors a few coastal showers in the morning, so we can expect some of that around like we saw over the weekend, but the majority of the rain will be inland, pushing off toward the east coast. Looks like tonight and tomorrow. Some showers were around. You'll notice how they started to increase in intensity, a few lightning strikes associated with them, and then they moved on toward the east and kind of weakened, and that's because they tapped into that dry air in the upper levels. We have a little bit of activity just to the southwest of Inglewood and a few showers of some light sprinkles, if you will, east of I-75 into Sarasota County. We are not anticipating much going on as far as that goes. Currently at the Sarasota Braden Airport, sunshine, 89, feels like temperature at 99, dew point high, and winds are out of the west-southwest at 9, the pressure 29.98 inches. And as far as the evening planner goes, your first alert forecast through this evening calling for temperatures to be pretty warm. No cooling showers around. We'll have the details on your weather coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Sarasota County students just wrapped up their first day back to school. Some schools that were dealing with more students than they expected. ABC7's Christopher Brantley shows us what they're doing to accommodate them.
As the freshmen rolled in on their first day, they got a crash course in what to expect.
We talked about the expectations for this year and getting off to a great start, so we all feel really good about where we are at this point.
The freshman assembly covered a wide range of topics.
We focused on a combination of academics, operational logistics that we want them to be aware of, anything from dress code to proper conduct, behavior.
Later this week, the sophomores, juniors, and seniors will have similar assemblies, even though many of them have been here before.
It still sets a tone for the expectations of our school and the culture that we want them to exist in.
Down the road at Venice Middle School, things also went smoothly.
I thought with all the changes there would be some issues, but it went off without a hitch, and we're off and running.
The school is partly under construction, but there's a strong effort underway to avoid that interfering with the students.
We had staff members out in all the various hallways directing the students where to go, making sure we had maps and their new schedules so that they knew where to go correctly.
Both schools do have more students than had been projected, 60 more here at Venice High School and a similar number at Venice Middle School. Christopher Brantley, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Christopher. And ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern is joining us now to let us know we have a very strong start to the week on Wall Street. Richard.
Haley, and indeed we needed it. If your memory is very short, you perhaps forgot that last week was the second worst week of the year. But we had a reflex rally. People were looking for bargains. Call it what you want. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up by 100 points, literally at the open, was up by 160 points at the high of the day. And the Standard & Poor's 500 Index, the best single measure of the strength of the market, was up by 1% for only the third time this year. We are now positive for the month of August at mid-month. Let's take a look at the figures, and indeed, impressive they are. There you see the Dow up by 135 points, more than 0.6%, just shy of 22,000 at 21,993.71. That on a volume of 697 million shares. The NASDAQ, a big mover today, up more than 1.3%, almost 84 points, closing at 6,340.23. That on a volume of 1,739 million shares. And the S&P, as promised, look at that, up exactly 1%, 24.5 points at 2,465.83. Well, I've said it many times, stocks can go down on up days, and today was one of those days. TJX, you may or may not recognize the name, but I bet you'll recognize TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods. That's who they own, and that's who they run, and they're going to be announcing their earnings first thing tomorrow morning. The stock was down by 2.1% on an up day, which tells you that many people believe that when TJX announces its earnings tomorrow morning, they may come in short of Wall Street expectations. So, as we like to say on television, stay tuned. We'll tell you tomorrow.
And Richard, what are you going to be watching for come tomorrow?
Well, TJX will be one of them, but Scott, one of your favorite companies announcing earnings tomorrow before the opening, Home Depot will be announcing earnings. I bet we'll talk about that tomorrow night.
Okay, sounds good. See you then. Thank you so much, Richard.
You're welcome.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, only one more week until the long-awaited total eclipse. How much of it we'll see here in Florida.
And First Alert Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your forecast for the rest of the week. Plus, forest bathing, what you may want to carve out some time to do by spending some time in nature. We'll explain why this is a good thing coming up in Health Smart.
The ABC7 Stock Report is brought to you by Sunset Cadillac. Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
It's no small wonder anybody loves it all.
I just love art that moves me.
No small,
I mean, really moves me.
One.
Sunset Fiat of Sarasota presents No Small Wonder. High performance style. Let the art of Fiat move you.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Join the fun at the Weddings of Sarasota 17th Annual Wedding Show at the iconic Sarasota Municipal Auditorium on US 41. Sunday, August 27th from noon to 4. Enjoy food, fun, and entertainment with a runway show on stage at 3 p.m. $2,000 in Weddings of Sarasota dollars given out after the runway show. You must be present to win. Pre-register at weddingsofsarasota.com. Brides and grooms are free if registered by midnight on August 25th. Weddings of Sarasota. Register today.
The liftoff of the Falcon 9 takes flight with the Dragon spacecraft, destined for the one-of-a-kind laboratory in microgravity, the International Space Station.
A SpaceX Dragon spacecraft is on its way to the International Space Station. Hewlett-Packard's new supercomputer is on board. It could be the most powerful commercial computer ever to operate in space. Of course, astronauts already have high-tech computers, but HP engineers say that the so-called spaceborne computer is much more powerful. It's capable of making 1 trillion calculations a second. NASA says that kind of power would be very valuable in processing high-definition satellite images of Earth.
Well, just 1 week from today, the best solar eclipse in the United States in nearly a century will take place.
A total solar eclipse is considered one of the most amazing sights that the sky has to offer. On August 21st, a total solar eclipse will be visible in 14 states from Oregon to South Carolina. Tens of millions of people are expected to travel into the path to view the event, overwhelming some local businesses, roads, and cell phone networks as people are traveling to get there to see this. Now NASA is giving us a glimpse of what the total eclipse will look like here in Florida. This graphic shows the partial eclipse that we will see here next Monday.
Astronomers, space junkies, and science enthusiasts are all very excited about this event. Recently, we asked the director of the planetarium at Riverview High School in Sarasota what he thinks we'll be able to see from the Suncoast.
Depending on how far south we are will determine how much of totality we actually get. With respect to the moon's shadow as it strikes the Earth, there's actually two shadows the moon casts. There's a total shadow, and astronomers call that the umbra, and that's where you want to be. That's where you see total eclipse. Then there's the partial shadow, which is what astronomers call the penumbra. In partial shadow, it'll just look like a bite is being taken out of the sun. That partial shadow swath is much, much larger. It goes all the way into Florida. How big of a chunk it takes out is going to depend on your geographic latitude. And so if there is a little bit of taken out, it's going to be a very small sliver, which is why you hear people say you always want to protect your eyes during an eclipse. Not that the sun is any more dangerous any other time. People are just less likely to stare at the sun when it's not an eclipse.
The last solar eclipse to sweep across the country, 99 years ago. If you'd like to buy a pair of special eclipse glasses that will protect your eyes and let you see the eclipse, several retailers are selling them, including Walmart, 7-Eleven, Best Buy, Lowe's, Toys R Us, Home Depot, and Amazon. But you may want to be careful on Amazon. The site is issuing refunds to customers who bought counterfeit glasses there. Here on the Suncoast, Manatee County Libraries will be giving away glasses this Thursday, August 17th. Pretty cool thing to see.
Right. We're not going to get, unfortunately, the full effect, but I'm sure we'll see video from all over the country of those places who will be.
ABC will be covering it too, I believe.
Live?
Network, yeah, live.
Okay.
2045, right over the top of Tampa, the next full eclipse here in Florida. So I don't know if I'll be around 2045. It's a long way off, but Haley, you should have no problem with that, Scott.
Maybe. I'm calculating.
Every time I hear that, you know, the moon's shadow, I think of the song. Yeah. I'm being followed by a moon shadow. Moon shadow, moon shadow. Anyway, we have the new thing now. You guys have been talking about it as well. First Alert.
First Alert.
And it's a new system that we have. Obviously, we have new technology available on your cell phone that will be able to pinpoint certain areas and geo-mapping, geo-targeting. So we won't alert everyone, but the people that are in the harm's way will be able to do that quite specifically with our weather app. So you want to go to your app store and actually download our weather app if you haven't done so already. It's going to be a valuable tool, especially with the heart of hurricane season coming around. The First Alert weather forecast is looking like this right now. Enhanced satellite imagery showing we do have a tropical system out there. It's Gert, and Gert is not all that strong right now. It's a tropical storm. We have another system trying to develop out there in the Atlantic. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but our local weather is rather dry. We have some showers around, mainly inland, pushing off toward the East Coast, and not doing a whole lot. We have some activity along the East Coast. This is a way it usually sets up when we get this westerly component to our wind right now, and that's what we're getting, more of a westerly flow as opposed to that normal east wind. That, again, butts up against the sea breeze in the afternoon. We really get the convergence set up and a lot of storms firing up along that front. But now, near Wauchula, one shower there. The storms that have been developing have been around for just about 20-30 minutes. They generate some lightning and they weaken as they tap into that dry air. We see that right now with the cell just to the west of Wauchula. There's been about 5-6 lightning strikes there pushing off to the east. Well, again, Gert, a rather large system in terms of clouds covering all the way down south of our latitude and into the southern Bahamas, continues to move off to the north and then eventually off to the northeast. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. Currently, it's 89 degrees. We have plenty of sunshine and the heat index at 99 degrees. Winds out of the west-southwest at 9. The pressure 29.98 inches. And that is holding steady now. 89 in Orlando, the same in Sarasota. A bit cooler in Tallahassee now as some rain has moved in there. Temperatures near the coast, upper 80s to low 90s, you would figure, with the Gulf water temperature now at 91, a west wind. Doesn't have a tendency to cool things down much. And 86 in Mayaca City as the clouds have moved nearby. Wauchula, now at 86 degrees and 87 in Lake Placid. The forecast looks like this tomorrow. For Tuesday, we'll see a mixture of sun and clouds. Now, there's a chance for a few coastal showers in the morning, just 1 or 2 lone showers. There'll be a few around, but not many. And then the main focus will be inland in the afternoon. Well, again, in the Caribbean, all is quiet here, but we are watching this little trough of low pressure. It's an upper level low, and that's going to change our weather midweek as we're going to see this drift northward and enhance our chances for rainfall. You'll see that in the First Alert 7-day forecast. Here's the tropical tracker with Gert. We have 70-mile-an-hour winds. It's moving to the north at 8. Eventually, going to take a turn to the right. So this is a well-behaved storm. These are the storms we like that don't have much impact on land. And it looks like Gert's going to behave as far as that goes. Now, the system out in the Atlantic has a pretty good chance of developing. In fact, about a 60% chance developing over the next 5 days. Only a 30% chance out there in the Atlantic. So we have a long time to watch this particular system. Elsewhere, things are quiet in the tropics for the time being. For boaters, winds will be out of the west at 10 knots. We'll have a light chop in the bays and inland waters. And tides upcoming, 6:53 for your next high tide. Sunset will be at 8:08. Partly cloudy, warm and muggy overnight, 79 for your low. And then for tomorrow, I'll look for partly cloudy skies, a 20% chance for morning showers and a 20% chance for inland showers. And the extended forecast does call for increasing chances for rain, as I mentioned, Thursday through the weekend, with pretty good chances. It may even increase depending upon that system I mentioned down in the Caribbean. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Now to First Alert traffic. Right now, we're seeing traffic backed up on I-75, but heading south tonight. The I-75 southbound lane's right near Fruitville Road. That's a little change. We normally see this heading north, but tonight, just for a short section of the interstate heading south from Fruitville. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, in the U.S., we spend 93% of each week indoors. That's according to the Environmental Protection Agency. So many are turning to forest bathing. Okay, not taking a bath outdoors, just spending time outside appreciating nature. In Japan, it's common practice to do that in a forest. But since you aren't likely to find too many forests in Florida, experts recommend aiming for 1 hour outside 3 times a week. Studies have shown that within 15 minutes of being in nature, your stress level goes down and your heart rate and blood pressure improve. And if you're in nature for a few days, say you go camping, you may experience increased creativity and cognitive ability. Harvard scientists, the biotech company eGenesis, and several other institutions were able to use gene editing and cloning to create virus-free piglets that could potentially be used in the future for human organ transplants. A report on this was published in the journal Science. Scientists took pig cells and edited them using the gene editing technology CRISPR to target and hinder their virus-related DNA. They then cloned those edited cells and developed an embryo. Those embryos were implanted and became piglets. The founder of eGenesis says pig-to-human organ transplants could happen as soon as 2 years. Coming up, a grill explodes in the back of an SUV. What the Florida woman did that sparked this destructive fire. Plus, officers show off their synchronized swimming skills, what they're hoping to accomplish with this viral video. That's straight ahead.
The Alfa Romeo Quadrifoglio charmed us all and crippled the competition. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
No theater lover's bucket list is complete without the classic black comedy Arsenic and Old Lace. Two adorable old ladies who just happen to poison their tenants and bury them in their basement. Fun and farcical, this hilarious play is heating up the summer at the Players Center from August 9th through the 20th. Call 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You'll die laughing when you see Arsenic and Old Lace.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill, I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
Alfa Romeo got a lot right with the Giulia, but the handling alone is sufficient reason to get one. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
A Florida woman and her husband have serious burns and their SUV is damaged after a bizarre grill explosion. The woman in Orlando was hauling a propane barbecue grill in her SUV when police say she lit a cigarette. The grill was apparently still turned on. The propane tank was open in the back of the vehicle as she left a barbecue event at the fairgrounds. Police say the woman and her husband were burned. Their sports utility vehicle, well, you can see what's left of it. It was severely damaged. The couple's injuries, though, not considered to be life-threatening. A skydiver ends up spending a little extra time off the ground in Massachusetts. The man was flying a wingsuit when he got stuck in a tree for 4 hours Sunday night. He says he doesn't understand how it happened. He wasn't hurt. He also says this incident should not prevent others from skydiving, something he calls a very safe sport.
A police swimming video is now going viral. You heard that right. Members of the Arlington County Police Department in Northern Virginia got wet and wild in their uniforms to promote Arlington's annual Police, Fire, and Sheriff Block Party. Officials say they hope that this online video helps put police in a positive light as far as how long it took for these officers to get their routine down. They say it took multiple takes over the course of several days. Way to go with that synchronized swimming routine. Sarasota's own Skiarees celebrating a national championship. The Skiarees won first place at the 43rd annual Show Ski National Championships, beating out 14 other teams from across the country. This is the first time the Skiarees have taken part in the competition since 1998. The Skiarees won high marks in showmanship, sound crew, ballet, swivel, star doubles, and overall show. That was based on Star Wars, their show was, so that's great. The Skiarees will begin their free public shows Sunday, September 24th at 2 p.m. They'll be held on City Island in Sarasota, right next door to Moat Marine Lab.
They are awesome, and I am
Very
not surprised
impressive.
at all that they are national champions. I mean, look at that right there, those pyramids. The skill that takes is unbelievable.
You always, when they make these things happen, you have to, I always think, how long did they have to work on that? How much did they have to, I know they practice a lot.
Yep.
So it's pretty amazing what they can do. And they do it, you know, just for fun in their free time. So
get out there and cheer them on.
Yeah, definitely.
Port scene.
Still to come on your Suncoast News, how to accommodate all of the students in Manatee and Sarasota counties.
What the school districts are doing about requests from transgender students. The story is coming up.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
Consumer Cellular makes it easy to stay in touch with family and stay within our budget.
Now our cell phone bill is only a fraction of what it used to be.
Our average customers get everything they need for about $25 a month, and plans start at only $10 a month with no contracts.
Consumer Cellular has a great choice of phones. Check out my new one.
I picked this simple phone.
I use my son's old smartphone. Kept my number, too.
Consumer Cellular has been an approved AARP provider since 2008, and members get exclusive discounts.
It's a good thing Consumer Cellular is always there, because sometimes I need a little help. Sometimes.
We're proud to have received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service among non-contract wireless providers.
Over the years, we've seen a lot of change.
We actually use change.
Luckily, there are some things we can still afford.
Like Consumer Cellular.
Stop paying too much for wireless service. Switch now, and for a limited time, get a $20 credit on any new line of service. Call 1-800-920-3084. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sport Utility for $269 per month, or a 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury. Winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Attention blood thinner users. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If your loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-554-3987. Again, that's 1-800-554-3987.